Hi, my name is Nancy Rivera, and I am here at the Philadelphia Ronald McDonald House with my family because of my 5-year-old grandson, Jonathan Ortiz. Jonathan was diagnosed with a rare form of brain cancer, and we've been here probably close to 3 months. And today, Jonathan's coming home to the Ronald McDonald House, and this is our home for now, and we're very grateful. In the midst of all this, we have a wonderful chef, Chef Jared. The chef and the staff are the most amazing people. They take care of our breakfast, lunch, and dinner, plus our snacks. And let me tell you, when you have a very sick grandchild and you're taking care of a 7-year-old grandchild who misses her family deeply, having to go to the kitchen to cook is time-consuming. But here at the Philadelphia Ronald McDonald House, we are extremely blessed by the grace of God and all these wonderful people who are donors, who are volunteers, who are just amazing people and have made our life much, much easier here. And for that, we are so very grateful. I thank you.
Hi, and welcome to this week's episode of Served with Love. I'm your host, Chef Jared Johnson. Today's episode is sponsored by University City District. Thank you so much to University City District for sponsoring today's episode and helping feed our families in time of need. They've been instrumental in helping to feed our families by bringing in area restaurants and caterers with packaged food that we can put out when we don't have the staff to feed our families. In fact, they're bringing in Dock Street to help feed our families for tonight. Thank you so much, University City District. Today's episode is on infused oils, what you can do with infused oils, and today we're going to feature a summer pasta salad made with garlic infused oil. Infused oils are really good because, we use a lot of cooking oils. We use olive oil and we use cottonseed oil, we use grapeseed oil, canola oil. But the benefit of these oils when you cook with them is that you can impart other flavors into the oils to give it a whole different flavor profile than it would have had naturally. So today we're working with olive oil and we're going to infuse our olive oil with garlic and fresh basil. We're then going to use the garlic that we infuse the oil with as a garnish and a top for the pasta salad that we make. The benefit of infusing oils is that like I said, you can get so many different flavor profiles out of it, and there's a couple different ways that you can do it. One, you can do an infused oil that's going to have more subtle flavor by taking herbs and aromatics and packing them into your oil and setting it aside. And after a couple of weeks, those flavors will kind of work their way into the oil and you leave those aromatics down in the oil and it's a subtle flavor impart, and over time it gets stronger as it sits. Another way to do it is to infuse hot oil with those aromatics. And that's what we're going to do today. By infusing the hot oil with the aromatics, and today we're going to use garlic and basil, it gives more of an intense flavor punch and it makes it happen almost immediately. So as soon as we put the garlic and the basil into this oil, it's going to be infused, and then we're going to make this great pasta salad that comes with it. So we're going to make the pasta salad today. I already have some salted water going here. Thank you so much to E.T. Richardson Middle School in Springfield, PA. They did a food drive recently and donated lots of great food to the house. And this pasta that we're using today came from E.T. Richardson. Thank you so much, guys. So my pasta water is up and ready. It's already been salted. We're just going to drop this pasta in. I like to agitate the water a little bit right initially when we first drop it in, just to make sure that nothing's going to stick. Today we're using shells in the water. But really, you can use any kind of pasta. I prefer to not use long pasta with this, but something like farfalle, something like orecchiette, any small tubular or rolled pasta works really good for this kind of pasta dish. So we're going to let that go. While our pasta's cooking, we have some oil over here that we were getting nice and hot. This is about 1 quart of extra virgin olive oil. And I have some garlic chips over here. I shaved these garlic chips on a Japanese-style mandolin, which is just like a little slicer that you can use. But if you don't have one of those, you can easily just cut these by knife. And it doesn't have to be super thin slices like this. It can be chunks. It can be a dice. But for our application today, where we're going to use this as a garnish on the top of the pasta salad, these little thin slices work really good. So this oil is about 350 degrees right now. The way you can check without a thermometer is just to drop one piece of whatever you're frying into the oil, and if it immediately comes up to the top and bubbles, you know that it's ready to go. So we're going to put all of our garlic chips in. Careful when you put them in. Something like garlic is a vegetable. It has lots of moisture in it, and it's the moisture that reacts with the oil that makes it pop and burst. So you're just going to want to be a little bit careful there. I have a little wand here to help move these around. At 350 degrees, this is going to cook very quickly. And we don't want to cook it all the way through. We just want to kind of get them brown because working with hot oil, it's going to go from being like just perfectly cooked to burnt very quickly. So we don't want to leave these in here too long, and we just want to move them around until they're nice and golden brown. What I have here is a plate with a paper towel on it that we can use to get the oil out of here. What you don't want to try to do is pour your oil, hot oil, through a sieve to catch whatever it is that you're infusing into the oil, because hot oil is so dangerous, and if you're trying to pour hot oil, bad things can happen. So what we're going to do is use this wand just to get the garlic out of here. It's just about right. The color's perfect, golden brown. So we're going to start to get these out of here now. You just let them drain, and then transfer them onto the paper towel. And as these sit, they're going to crisp up and make a wonderful garnish for our pasta salad today. So the garlic's finished. I'm going to set that aside over here. And now I have some basil leaves. So we've already infused this oil with garlic flavor, and now we're going to drop a little bit of basil into it, and that's going to do the same thing. Now we're cooking the basil second because the basil is really fragile. And so we wanted to cook the garlic first and get that out of the way. And now we're going to add the basil, and this is going to cook in like seconds. See those splashes there? So anything that you're dropping into your oil that has water in it is going to pop like that, and it's something that you need to be careful of. And these are ready already, so we're going to pull them out. So now our oil's ready, and we're just going to take this off the heat and let it sit over here. So our pasta is cooking here, it's almost ready. Now we're going to saute a little bit of spinach to add to the pasta salad. So our pan here is heating up, and we're going to use our garlic infused oil with a little crushed red pepper and salt and pepper for the spinach. I'm just going to take a spoon, put a tablespoon or two of our infused oil, which is nice and hot. So the hot oil goes in the pan right over top of the flame. And now we're going to take our spinach. We're just going to drop the spinach right into the pan. I didn't want it to be super hot because that's going to wilt it really fast, and I want to control the temperature here. So I'm going to add a little salt, add just a little bit of crushed red pepper, and some black pepper. Now we're just going to quickly toss this around. You just want that heat to kind of get on here and start to cook this spinach down. But we want to get it out of the saute pan before it's fully cooked and gives off all of its water. Just want to say thank you so much to Giordano's Garden Groceries. Giordano's Garden Groceries has become the exclusive produce provider for the Served with Love cooking show. We're so happy that they're going to do this for us, and they are some of the best purveyor for fine produce in the city. And we're super thrilled that they are going to be providing all of the produce for our show. So this spinach came from them, and our tomatoes, and all the things we're going to be doing moving forward. So now this spinach is right where we want it. And if you can see there, it's not fully cooked down yet. And when we get it out of the heat, it'll finish cooking the rest of the way. So we want to get this out of the saute pan now. Let that cooking process stop. And this will be an easy add to our pasta. So now we're going to take our pasta and drain it into a colander, but because we're making pasta salad, we're going to shock the pasta very quick in an ice water bath. So I have an ice water bath that I already have done and set aside. And we're going to take this off the heat and drain the pasta real quick. And then you just drop it right into the ice water. I used the colander here so that I can keep the pasta away from the ice, but allow the ice water to run into the colander and cool off the pasta quickly. The idea being here is that you're stopping the cooking process right away. We don't want the pasta to sit and continue to cook before we've introduced all of our flavors. But once you've gotten it down to the temperature that you want to then get the pasta out of the ice water. And so I have another bowl set aside here that we can easily just remove the pasta and set it up on this other bowl so it can continue to drain. So we have all of our prep done for this pasta salad. And you can see that in just the time it takes to cook the pasta, we were able to get everything else together. So this is something very easy to produce, something super simple that you can do very quickly at home. So when you have your pasta ready to go, I like to let it drain as long as possible and then give it a little shake, something like this, especially if you have a tube or something that can collect water, just to make sure you get most of that water out. Again, we've cooked this pasta al dente. We want to make sure that the pasta is not overcooked, especially in an application like pasta salad, because you're liable to be serving it later. It goes into the refrigerator for a couple of days and then you're eating it again later. And so when you're doing something like that and it's going to sit for a period of time, especially in something like oil, you want to make sure that it's not overcooked, because then when you're going to get it the next day, it's going to be kind of mushy and not the texture that you're looking for. So you're going to want to make sure you pull your pasta a little bit early. So now we're just going to put all this together. I have my spinach. We're going to put that right in with the pasta. And we're going to cut these tomatoes down. We have these beautiful grape tomatoes. These are about the biggest grape tomatoes I've ever seen. So instead of halving these, I'm going to quarter these tomatoes. So cut them in half first, quarter turn, and cut them in half again. I don't think we're going to do all of these tomatoes, but most of them. I have this great apron on today. For our last episode, we served Sienna and Julie, and Sienna has been able to go home now, which is terrific, to see her family. She hadn't been home in 3 months. And before she left, she gave me this great apron that she tie-dyed herself as a lovely gift for me to wear when we're making our show. So this salad we're doing with no protein, but it's very easy to add protein to this salad. You can do grilled chicken, you could do grilled shrimp, flake tuna works really good. Or if you wanted to keep it fully vegetarian, but make it like a center of the plate meal, you can add cannellini beans or chickpeas. They work really good for a salad like this. And we're going to serve it room temperature or cold, but you could also do something like this as a hot pasta dish. And I would start with the infused oil, and I would blister these tomatoes in the hot oil, and then build the pasta dish right from the infused oil and blistered tomatoes. All right. So now we have our spinach, our pasta, and our tomatoes. We're going to add some black pepper. Plenty of salt. You have to make it taste good. We're going to take some of our infused oil. This pasta is really going to absorb a lot of this oil. Like I said, this was about a quart of oil to start. So now that we're done with this, you can take this oil and put it into a ball jar or something that you can pour oil out of, and you can leave it sit on the counter, and this will last for about 60 days, and it'll have this great infused flavor. Depending on the type of oil you use, you can also put it in the refrigerator, and it'll last even longer. It'll last up to 3 months. So now we have our spices in, and our tomatoes and spinach are in, and our pasta's in. So we're just going to give this a simple toss. Once you've tossed it around, you can take a pair of tongs. Sometimes that spinach sticks together. So you just want to kind of move it around, make sure that it's broken up, so that as you're eating it, you're not getting one big clump of spinach in your pasta salad, but it's mixed all the way through. Whoa. All right. So that's mixed together pretty good. Give that another taste. Perfect. So to plate this up, give it another mix around. Oh yeah, look at that. So how I like to finish this is take some of those garlic chips that we made. They're nice and crispy now from sitting. And I just put a couple of these garlic chips on the top for garnish. They're also a great texture difference when you're eating the salad. You get like the burst of the tomatoes and the firm pasta, and then you get the crunch of the garlic. And we'll take a couple of these beautiful fried basil leaves. And there's the dish. Pasta salad with infused garlic and basil, fresh tomatoes, and sauteed spinach. So that's this week's episode of Served with Love. Thank you very much again to University City District for sponsoring today's episode and bringing in Dock Street Pizza to make pizza for our families for tonight. Stay tuned for next week's episode. I just got word that the strawberries are in season over at Front and Erie. And if all goes well, we'll have a bounty of strawberries for next week's episode. And everything smelled so good while we were putting it all together, I had to make a little dish for myself. This pasta salad is so good, it's my favorite. Oh man, that's delicious. Tastes just like summer. See you next week, guys. If you'd like to sponsor an episode or donate to our food services program, please visit www.philarmh.org/chefjared. If you enjoyed this video, please like, comment, and subscribe. This episode of Served with Love was sponsored by University City District. We'd also like to thank Giordano's Garden Groceries for being the exclusive provider of produce for our show, and to E.T. Richardson Middle School in Springfield, PA for providing the pasta for today's episode. For ingredients, recipes, and information on how you can support our food services program, please visit us on the web at www.philarmh.org/chefjared. You can also contact me with any questions by email at chefjared@philarmh.org. Thank you.
Welcome to University City District.